Okay, in last lecture we have seen this x value will become as a x1 plus x2 because that x value will become in terms of the two ways. One is the x c1 into e raised to s1t, and c2 value will be in terms of the that x2 value will become in terms of the c2 into e raised to s2t. So we can take the addition of these two, x of t is equal to x1t plus x2t. So that will be x1 e raised to s1t plus x2 into e raised to s2t. Okay, so that will be the addition, and that will be question number 18 will be become. So now we have to go for this solving the values or the use the some of the initial conditions to get the values of this C1 and the C2 values. And for that purpose, we have to go for this next step, that is to understand what is the critical damping constant and what is the damping ratio. Okay, so we should understand what is this damping and what is the critical damping and what is the damping ratio. So first we'll understand what is this damping ratio. So damping ratio is nothing but it is termed as a zeta. So what is this zeta? Zeta it is known as a damping ratio. You should understand damping ratio means like you should go to this word only, that is the damping ratio in terms of the zeta, and it is the formula directly you can write the formula as C by Cc, where C is the Vc is the it is a C is the damping coefficient. Already we know the damping coefficient C divided by Cc म्हणजेच काय, it is a critical damping. Okay, C is nothing but it is a damping. C is nothing but it is the damping coefficient, and Cc is nothing but a critical damping. Okay, and for this understanding the values of C and Cc, there is a we should know that C is equal to Cc when that radical part is becomes zero. So what is the radical part? That radical part of this equation number 18, and that root value. Okay, you can write say it as a root value, or it is a radical value. That radical term is becomes zero. So at that time, that C will be becomes equal to Cc. So radical part is C by twice m bracket square minus K by m is equal to the zero. Means that C by twice m is equal to, there is a that is the bracket square is equal to the K by m. Already we know omega n is equal to root of K by m. Means there is the same, you can write that C by twice m bracket square is becomes equal to omega n square. Means that C upon twice m by taking root on both sides equal to the omega n. So C will be equal to Cc will be equal to, we can directly write Cc is equal to twice m omega n. Okay, that is the parameter, that is the damping coefficient will be come here, or the critical damping coefficient will be equal to twice m omega n. Okay, and already we know what is the zeta value. Zeta is equal to C upon Cc. So you should understand these two parameters over here from this slide. Okay, from this slide. So I hope all of you have understood what is the C and Cc and what is the zeta. So first you understand zeta, it is a ratio of it is a ratio of coefficient of C towards the Cc, that is the critical damping. Okay, so write down fast so we can move forward for the next step. So the that critical damping Cc is defined as the value of damping C for which the value of radical part becomes zero. So C is equal to Cc for the radical part. So C upon twice m bracket square minus K by m is equal to 0. So omega n is equal to root of K by m. So omega n square is equal to K by m. So Cc is equal to twice m omega n. And last one is the damping ratio zeta is equal to, it is a ratio. Write down damping ratio is equal to it is a ratio of damping coefficient C towards the critical damping Cc. That's why zeta is equal to C upon Cc. I hope all of you have understood up to this. So we can move for the next step. Okay. So by putting this value, so we can convert this value of this equation number 18 with respect to CMKM, that will convert in terms of the zeta value. So how to convert? Where is the value of this C value? C by CC value is there. Then that we have to convert in terms of the zeta. So we can write this C by S1 S2 value minus C by twice M plus or minus root of C by twice M bracket square minus K by M. That value we have to convert in terms of the zeta. So how to convert this value? That I will show you. Okay. So you can convert directly that value over here by putting that to C by twice M. So from this S1 and S2, you see the first is S1 and S2 value. That S1 and S2 value we have to convert in terms of the zeta. So how to convert this value in terms of zeta? That C by twice M. We have to adjust this C by twice M in terms of the C by CC. So we'll get the value of zeta. Okay. So that C by twice M. So if we put this C by twice M over here, and if we convert this C by CC into CC, that CC and that CC getting cancelled, that CC by twice M. But we know that C by CC is nothing but it is a zeta into that CC upon this twice M. CC का ऐसे आपने article CC is nothing but twice M omega n. That formula already we know. Divided by this M. Is that twice M, that twice M will be getting cancelled. Means this C upon twice M is equal to what is the remaining value? That is the zeta omega n. Okay. So what is the value is remaining over here? That is the zeta omega n. So if we put this value over here, C by twice M, that is the zeta omega n. So C by twice M, that S1 2 is equal to, that is the zeta omega n plus or minus root of, there is a C by twice M value that is the zeta omega n, that bracket square minus omega n square. So what is the remaining? That zeta omega n plus or minus, what is the remaining? That bracket outside, that is the omega n square. So in bracket, that omega n outside, so zeta square minus 1 is remaining. So what is the factor S1 and S2? So S1 and S2 is equal to omega n is the common term from both sides. So it will become equal to, that is the, that minus sign is here, that is here. So it will be equal to minus zeta plus or minus root of zeta square minus 1. So that is the value of S1 and S2 in terms of this zeta. I hope all of you have cleared this. I will erase this part and I will tell you once again so we can move forward. If you understand this very nicely, then you can solve the all the whatever the boundary conditions, whatever the equations are here to solve. Once again, I will tell you. So you please give attention over here. Okay. So you can write. We have to convert this value of this. So we have to convert this value of C by twice M, because in this you can see this equation first, that S1 and S2 there is C by twice M plus or minus root of C by twice M bracket square minus K by M. So you understand first how to convert this value in terms of the zeta. So C by twice M will become here. So C by twice M. Okay, we have to convert this value. So C by CC, that is the zeta, into CC upon twice M. So you understand here there is a multiplication of CC and divided by CC, means it will be equal to 1. Okay, after that there is a C upon CC, that is nothing but it is a zeta value into CC म्हणजे काय आले आपल्या ठिकाणी twice M omega n divided by its twice M, means it will be equal to, that is the zeta into that omega, that twice M is getting cancelled into omega n. That value we have to put in this equation. So S12 will be equal to minus of C by twice M. So what is the C by twice M? That is the value C by twice M value carry minus zeta into omega n plus or minus root of that C by twice M value carry आपली zeta omega n, that is the bracket square minus K by M. So already we know what is the K by M. K by M is equal to omega n square. So S12 is equal to minus zeta omega n plus or minus root of, there is a zeta omega n square minus t by n चा काय येणार या ठिकाणी omega n square. So that omega n and that omega n, there is a common parameter over here. So that is the minus zeta omega n plus or minus, if we take omega n as outside, so what is remaining, there is a zeta, so that is the square, so zeta square will become, so zeta square minus 1. Okay, if we take omega n as outside, so what is remaining, minus zeta plus or minus root of zeta square minus 1. So that is the S12 values. And already we know our equation is like this, x is equal to, what is this, c1 into e raised to s1t plus c2 into e raised to s2t. But that yes, we have replaced, yes, we have replaced with respect to, now it is with respect to zeta. In last condition, it was with respect to, that it was with respect to c, m. Okay, it was respect to the c and m. Now it is with respect to the zeta value. And henceforth, in this equation only, we have to go for the solution in terms of the zeta value. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood. Please write down this fast so we can move forward. Again, there are, for the solution, there are the 3 cases to become. So we have to complete this. So please do it fast. Write fast. If you are completed, we move towards the next step. Okay. So that is the c by twice m. We have converted in terms of the zeta. So that the zeta value, if we have put that c by twice m value in terms of zeta, so s12 value becomes minus zeta plus or minus root of zeta square minus 1 into omega n. So the solution of equation is becomes here that x of t is equal to c1 into e raised to s1t plus c2 into e raised to s2t. Okay. Below this, write down the nature of the roots. The nature of the roots. S1 and S2, nature of the roots S1 and S2, nature of the roots S1 and S2, and hence the behavior of the solution, hence the behavior of the solution, behavior of the solution depends upon, depends upon, depends upon magnitude of damping, magnitude of damping, magnitude of damping. It can be seen that, it can be seen that, it can be seen that the case zeta is equal to 0, zeta is equal to 0, zeta is equal to 0 leads to undamped vibration, leads to undamped vibration, leads to undamped vibration. Hence, we assume zeta is not equal to 0 and consider the following 3 cases. So now we'll discuss 3 cases. Okay, so now we'll move towards the next step, that is to what are the three cases about the damping. So there are the three cases. Now we'll see. One is the under damped system, second one is the over damped system, and third one is the critically damped system. So I will show you here what are these three cases based on the value of zeta. So you can write this case number one, where zeta value is less than 1, zeta value is greater than 1, and zeta is equal to 1. Zeta is greater than 1, it is equal to, it is a less than 1, it is a under damped system. It is known as under damped system. Zeta is greater than 1, it is a over damped system. What is it? It is a over damped system. And zeta is equal to 1, that is the critical damped system. Okay, in this way there are the three cases. Okay, please write down these three cases. Write down one. Case number one is under damped system, where under damped system, over damped system, and the critical damped. Okay, so first case is the damped system, under damped system, and the over damped system. So we can write here, that is the zeta is less than 1, zeta is greater than 1, and zeta is equal to 1. So for the zeta is less than 1 means the value of c, zeta means काय असतं आपलं, already we know that zeta is equal to, that is the c by cc. Okay, means that zeta is less than 1 means c by cc is less than 1. Okay, zeta is greater than 1 means C by CC is greater than 1. And zeta is equal to 1 means C is equal to CC. Means it is a critical condition, it is a over damped system, and it is a damped system. So in this way, there are three damping system. Okay, so write down case number one, that is the zeta is less than 1. Zeta is less than 1. Zeta is less than 1. So it is known as C by Cc is less than 1. C by Cc is less than 1 and is equal to under damped system. Under damped system. Below this write down zeta is greater than 1. Zeta is greater than 1. So C by Cc is equal to, C by Cc is greater than 1. So it is an over damped system. Over damped system. And last one, zeta is equal to 1, it is a critical damped system. Okay, now we have to solve these three equations, three cases, case number one, case number two, and the case number three. So, okay, so we'll go towards the first case, that is the case number one, which is based on the under damped system. So you can understand here first. So it is a under damped system, means zeta is less than 1, means C is less than Cc, where C by Cc, that ratio is less than 1. So you can see here this one value already we know, that is minus zeta, that is I into 1 minus zeta square into omega n. So here one question is here, so how that value of, how this I will become here. Okay, so I will show you how this value of I is coming here. So you can understand this S12 is equal to minus zeta plus or minus root of, there is a zeta square minus 1. Okay, if we take minus 1 is outside, and into bracket 1 minus zeta square, okay, into omega n if we take, then that minus term will be coming over here. Means it will be equal to minus zeta plus or minus root of, that minus 1 is nothing but it is a I square into bracket minus zeta square into omega n, and so that it will be equal to minus zeta plus or minus I will be bracket, I will be at the outside because it is a common and it is a I square, and that's why 1 minus zeta square will be remaining in the root, and that will be the S12 value in terms of the I. Okay, I hope all of you have understood that S12 will be equal to minus zeta plus or minus that I will be I square is the I square, so square root as mathematically that root is nothing but it is I into bracket the remaining term is 1 minus zeta square into omega n. So that value we have to put into the next equation. Okay, so the discussion about this I, how this I is came here, that you have understood. So now we'll move towards the how to go for the case number 1 about the undamped free vibration system. Okay. So in the undamped vibration system, that S1 value will be now minus zeta plus I into root of 1 minus zeta square into omega n. S2 will be here minus zeta minus I. This is a plus, this is a minus into I into root of 1 minus zeta square into omega n. So that will be the S1 and S12 value. And now x of t becomes C1 into e raised to S1t plus C2 into e raised to S2t. Okay. So x of t will be here, that's C1 into, so we can take the common from these two cases, case number 1 and from this x1t and the x2t. So we'll get the common terminologies here, e raised to minus zeta omega n t. So remaining is that C1 into e raised to plus I alpha t and plus C2 into e raised to minus I alpha t. So by putting the values of C1, if we know the value, if we know the formulas over here. So what is the formula? Yeah, that is the e raised to that e raised to plus or minus I alpha. So what is the formula? That is the cos alpha t plus or minus that is the I sin alpha t. So that trigonometrical formula is used here for getting the solution of this equation, that is the C1 into e raised to I alpha t and C2 into e raised to minus I alpha t. And by putting this formula over here, there is a that sin term is getting outside, that sin term is at this side, and the cos term will be getting at this side. So x of t will be e raised to minus zeta omega n t into C3 into cos term and C4 into sin term. Okay, again there is a that C3 and C4. Why this C3 and C4 is written? That C3 is for C1 and C2 and C4 is for I into C1 minus C2. Okay, so you can try at your home for this solution of this equation by putting this value e raised to plus or minus I alpha in terms of cos and in terms of sin. It is very easy to understand for you. And after that, that x of t, I got this in terms of the C3 and the C4 constant. And now we have to calculate the C3 and the C4 values by putting the boundary conditions. Okay. So I hope all of you have understood. If x1 is minus zeta plus or minus 1 minus zeta square. That is the s roots of the S1 and S2. Now this Sx of t value we have to put C1 into e raised to S1t, C2 into e raised to S2t, and we know the values of this formula, trigonometrical formula, e raised to plus or minus I alpha. That will be cos alpha plus or minus I sin alpha. And that cos and sin value we have to put into this equation. So we'll get the common term is the cos and the sin. So if we separate both these equations, separate this, okay, if we if we take the commons of sin and cos terminology, we'll get the C3 and the C4, and it is mentioned as C1 plus C2, it is called as the C3, and C4 is called as I into C1 minus C2. Okay, so now we have to solve this equation number 30 with respect to the boundary condition. I hope you have written, so we'll move towards the next slide. Okay. If you are not written, I will wait for 1 minute. Please write down fast so we can move forward. So we have to apply the boundary conditions over here for the solution of equation. Okay, so now we can move forward. Okay, so from this above equation, I got the values of this that x of t values in terms of this, and if we put the values of boundary conditions over here, that x e is equal to here the e raised to minus zeta omega n t into bracket c3 cos of 1 minus zeta square omega n t plus c4 into sin of omega n t. So from this equation there is a that a parameter will become like this, and this is the b parameter, that bracket is b, and the outside the bracket that is the a. So now we have to calculate the first derivative and the first derivative of x, that is the velocity, and we have to put the boundary condition. So you can understand here the boundary conditions are like this. There is a boundary conditions, you can understand by putting these boundary conditions. Initial boundary conditions are at time t is equal to 0, that displacement becomes x naught. At a velocity is equal to 0, that x dot of t will be becomes as a x dot naught. And from there if we put these two boundary conditions c3 and c4 will get, okay, we will find the c3 and the c4 values. Okay, and before that purpose we have to take, we have, there are the two boundary condition that is related to the displacement and related to the velocity, means related to the x and related to the x dot. X is already we know, so we have to take the x dot, means from the equation, means this equation is over there, आणि ह्या इक्वेशनचं आपल्याला काय कॅल्क्युलेट करायचंय किंवा या इक्वेशनचं बाय कंबायनिंग वी हॅव टू कॅल्क्युलेट ऑर द लास्ट इक्वेशन, ते जे लास्ट इक्वेशन होतं त्याचं वी हॅव टू कॅल्क्युलेट द डेरिव्हेटिव्ह. सो हाऊ टू कॅल्क्युलेट द डेरिव्हेटिव्ह काय असतं सांगा मला. डी बाय डी एक्स ऑफ ए इंटू बी.
तुला किती चिरमोल बस आता हलवत
There was in last equation you have seen there is a x is nothing but a into b. There x is x parameter will become that x is nothing but it is a into b. So we if we calculate the x dot, then what is the, that is there is a derivative of d by dx into a into b. So we can calculate x dot. How to calculate? A into d by dx of b plus b into d by dx of a. So that is the derivative. So in this way that x dot is calculated over here. So you can understand e raised to minus zeta omega n into t. So derivative of this is the coefficient that zeta omega n is coming here. That is the zeta minus zeta omega n t. So at that time, that second b parameter is constant over there. That is c3 cos of sim. That is the constant. Now that first parameter is remain constant here. That is e raised to minus zeta omega n t into now the derivative of second parameter. That is the c3 cos of this and c4 into sine of this. So c3 into cos, that cos the derivative, it will be equal to minus sine, and sin the derivative will be equal to cos. And now we have to apply the boundary conditions. And by applying the boundary conditions over here, we'll get the values of C1 and C3 and the C4 value. And if we put these values of C3 and C4 in the equation, then automatically we'll understand the equation of motion for this damped free vibration system. So I request all of you, please write down this fast so we can move forward for the next step. It is very simple. Already we know the x value. If we calculate the x dot, that is the derivative of x with respect to t, and by putting the value of derivative of x with respect to t, we have to apply the boundary conditions. And from these boundary conditions, we'll get the values of C3 and C4, and that values we will put into this equation. Automatically, we get the solution of equation. Okay. So please solve, write down this fast. I will wait for 1 minute. Okay, now we'll move towards the next slide. Okay, from this boundary conditions, I got the values of C3 and C4. So you can write here that C3 as the X0 and the C4 as this value. So put these two values automatically in the equation. So we'll understand. You can go these boundary conditions. I got the values of C3 and the C4. Okay, boundary conditions which boundary conditions we have used here, that X of t is equal to 0, that is X naught, and X dot at time t is equal to 0, there is a X naught dot 0. So by putting this value C3, I got that is the X naught, and C4 as like this. So by putting these through values, the equation of motion becomes like this. So please write down this fast so we can move for the next. Or you can solve at your home. I will share you the video link so you can understand easily through the video link also. Okay, now we can move forward for the next step. So that is the second step, that is the critically damped system. So what is the value, what is the formula over here for the S1 and S2 values? So that already we know that zeta that S1 and S2 will be equal to, that is minus omega n is bracket outside, so minus zeta omega n minus zeta plus or minus root of zeta square minus 1. Okay, for the critically damped system, that zeta is equal to 1, already we know C is equal to Cc, so that S and S12, what is the value of this zeta, that zeta will be equal to 1. That's why omega n into bracket minus 1 plus or minus root of 1 minus 1, it is equal to 0. So what is the remaining? That is the omega n minus omega n. So S1, S2 value will become minus omega n. So these are the, for S1 value is equal to minus omega n. Again S2 will be equal to again minus omega n. So these are the repeated roots condition will become here. And that's why the X of t will be becomes, for the repeated roots, it is a C3 plus C4t into e raised to S1, e raised to S1, S2 t. So S1, S2 already same, that is the omega t. Okay, so now there is a S1 and S2 values will be same for the both the conditions. So S1 and S2 will be here. S1 is equal to S2 is equal to minus omega n. So sorry, that is minus of zeta. Minus omega n will be same here. So there is a repeated roots, that X of t will be becomes like this. X of t will be equal to that C3 plus C4t into e raised to minus omega n t. Okay, and from that, so from solving this equation, we have to apply the boundary conditions. So what are the boundary conditions? One is the X at time t is equal to 0, that will be equal to X naught, and X dot of t is equal to 0, that is equal to X naught dot t. So by putting these boundary conditions, I will get the values of C4 and C3, and by putting these values in terms of this equation number 37, so I will get the equation of motion for this case number second. Okay, for this case number second. Please write down all of you. So we'll stop here for this today's lecture. I will give you 2 minutes only. So please fast write down so we can stop here for the today's lecture. Now we'll stop here for today's lecture. Remaining part we'll see in the next lecture. Thank you all. Now I will end the meeting. You can use chat box to paste here your roll number. Okay, thank you. Now I will end the meeting. Be ready with your chapter 2nd. So for the ISC as well as for your chapter test, that will be scheduled maybe on tomorrow or maybe on Monday. So be ready with chapter 2nd. Already chapter number 1, that test number 1 on the chapter number 1 is completed. So now we are moving for the second chapter for the test number 2nd. And from the next lecture we start the unit number 3rd also. Thank you.